Hello, everyone. Happy New Year to you all. Thank you once again for joining us. It's the beginning of another new year full of promises and hopes and plans for the new lives, for the best shapes of our lives, however we put it. And of course, Andy and Jeffrey and myself, we are here this evening to answer a few questions. Happy New Year, Jeffrey.
Hey, good day to you. Happy New Year. I hope everybody's having a wonderful start to an amazing new year. We got a lot going on. Thank you, Comfort. Good to
Yes,
see
sure.
you and Andy. Thank you. Thank you.
Good to see you too, Jeffrey. Hi, Andy.
Happy New Year. Absolutely. The excitement is building for 2024.
Yes. So, guys, what we have decided to do, we are coming here with a quick Q&A. These are questions that we have been answering throughout the year. So, as they started resurfacing, we thought that we'd give it a last chance. However, these are not questions we should be answering because we've been talking about this a lot. But then, yeah, sometimes New Year, you change your mind and do a quick new thing. But we shouldn't be do this. Let's move on, guys. Let's learn together and move on together. So I'll just read the questions as they come. I'm only a messenger. I did not write them. I just picked them from here and there, put them together, and then here we are. So the first question, Andy, how can I request for refund?
I don't think you can anymore. You had your opportunity before. You paid your $97, and by the way, that was given to you back in credit. So no, there's no, you can't cancel your account. Well, you can cancel your account and walk away, but you're not going to get your $97 back anymore. But you've had 3 years to do this, so.
Right. Okay. Yeah, Jeffrey, I don't know if you have anything to add to this or even in form of a piece of advice, because people need to know we are moving from this for forever and ever. Go on, Jeffrey.
Well, yeah. Questions are never probably at face value as easy as you would hope. When you think about that question, though, getting a refund, if it was just simply cut and dry like that, it'd be one thing, but it may not be. We may have some founders, some charter members out there that perhaps for whatever reason may not have even migrated to the OES. Excuse me. If that is the case, then they've still got the $97 kicked in there somewhere, and it was never put into an OES account for them or their wallet. If they never migrated and they never signed the NDA, then I would say send a support ticket through OFounders and tell them you want your money back, because, Mr. Mufara has said more than once, if you don't want to be here, we don't want you here. So as much as Andy's absolutely right, I do believe Mr. Mufara came out and said, we've had long, ample time to be refunding the money, and those days are over. And that was shortly before they actually gave all the founders their $97 back into the OES account. But he's always said, hey, if you guys don't want to be here, then why would we want you here? And he is very, very generous, and he has always made no bones of, just giving them what would he say? Give them a kiss and tell them to have a good life. Just let them go. So if they haven't migrated to the OES and they're still just not signed the NDA or done anything like that, yeah, do a request through support. You might get it back. They might say, too late, too bad, too sorry, but who knows? I'd give it a shot. Anyway.
I must admit, Jeffrey, I hadn't included those people because for me, they'd already gone.
Yeah. Well, I know that there are people like, this is a little embarrassing for me to say, but the other week, last week, about a week and a half ago, I was going through all my accounts, just double checking them, and I found one account that was still way back. I had not even brought it over, and I was like, wow. I mean, I just totally forgot about it. It got lost in the cracks. I've got probably a dozen accounts in various names for my family and that sort of thing. And this one, just for whatever reason, I never did anything with it, except I made the OMail, and that was it. There was an OMail, and that's what I found. I don't recognize this OMail. So I know that there are others out there that either haven't subscribed or maybe haven't even signed the NDA and come across. But regardless, if it's an old account and you guys are there and never done anything with it, can't hurt to ask for a refund. I mean, Ashley's got a great big heart, and he's allowed to just give it back to you. So,
all right. So, Jeffrey, now that this happened to you, I think it's an opportunity again for people to learn from. So, when you found out this particular account that you did not migrate yet, what have you done with it, and is it still doable?
Oh yeah, it migrated, and I immediately also subscribed to OConnect, simply because that's a beautiful thing. Now, for those people that have already migrated and they've got the OES and they were given the $97 back, and they're saying, "How can I ask for a refund?" You kind of scratch your head and go, "Well, the money's in there, and as soon as it's available to be withdrawn, just ask for your money out." I mean,
okay,
you know.
All right, guys. So if you've been wondering what you do, you've not yet migrated and you think it's all over, here is Jeffrey, a living testimony. If you need help, just ask for help and somebody will surely do that for you. So Andy, somebody says, when do I start making income after making my investment? Making investment here in OnPassive.
Yeah, first of all, it's not an investment. This is a business. And what you're doing by activating the account is purchasing an item to be able to put it in your online store. Yeah, so we've got several that are free, OMail, OTrim, ONet, etc. And OConnect is the first paid product. Now, in order to get commissions, we need to activate the account by paying for OConnect. Whether we use it or not is irrelevant at the end of the day. What you're doing is you're putting that product in your online store for the company then to be able to sell it for you. If you're not going to do anything for yourself. So we've obviously had some issues, not only with the merchants, the payment system, and that has created or caused a delay in some way, but also we've had a large number of people from one particular country that were using fraudulent cards to make payments with, and OnPassive has taken it on board and taken it on themselves to be able to sort that out. So again, this is potentially delayed, but the next step, if you like, is that the customers that have already registered then get allocated to those that have become an affiliate and activated their account and put in their OConnect into their online store. And then we should start seeing new customers coming on board. And those customers, if they've purchased OConnect or they purchase a product with the others that are coming on board very shortly, like OTracker, OVERIFY, etc., and one that he didn't wish to mention or didn't mention yesterday, but said there's another one. Then, as soon as these products are paid for by the people in your customer base, then you get a commission. So you start earning an income from them. Now, some of these products are going to be paid monthly, which means that you get a commission monthly. Others are going to be paid one-off. Others are going to be paid quarterly, yearly, 6 monthly. We may well find that we have the option with OConnect to pay it monthly, quarterly, half-yearly, or annually. But it means, therefore, if it's paid annually, it's paid every year. Some of these commissions are going to become residual. Others are going to be one-off. But there's lots in store for us. So, don't worry. Just make sure the more products that you put in your online store, the more that the company is going to be able to offer to others for you.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Andy. So, Jeffrey, one thing that we've been struggling with is that many people still confuse it when they say it's subscription based versus making an investment. So maybe you would like to add something to what Andy has said. I'm happy Collins is not here, so you're speaking from your lay perspective, and I hope that somebody gets something new today.
Yeah. When we talk about business as being not being an investment as opposed to being a service or something like that, the OnPassive ecosystem and the digital products that we have as a result of this platform are what we call software as a service. So there's two issues I'd probably go at right here. One of them is when they say, once I've made the investment, if you're talking about the $97, the original $97, that is not really an investment. That is a payment. It's a fee, a cost of a position. It entitles you to that position, only that position, and no other benefits. That's what that was. Now, that's a little bit overcome by events because Mr. Mufar has in turn given all of that back by way of the wallet within the OES in the form of OCoin, which is, translatable as 1 coin per dollar, that sort of thing. So that is not an investment. Now, when you say once I've made that investment, if you're talking how do you say, an investment in your time or an investment in other than monetary value, well, again, that investment is on you, and you're not going to get a direct correlation of monetary return on that. If you're referring to the investment as I'm paying or subscribing to a product, then what you're getting when you subscribe is the return on that subscription, which is not an investment because this is an ongoing thing. It is, I mean, if you look at the word investment and what investment really means, then it's got a lot of different definitions to it. But generally, when we say investment, we're talking about putting out some money or an outlay of money that's usually got a direct correlation of income or profit. And in this case, it simply doesn't. Not for the founder position because there are no benefits other than that position, and not for the subscription because with that subscription, what you are getting is a product. You are getting OConnect, for instance. So there's not going to be a direct correlation of money or commission value for that product. Now, when you will, as Andy had rightfully said, when you subscribe to OConnect, for instance, that particular product, then what that allows is for OnPassive to now go to work for you and start marketing that product and bringing people in. And through that activity, right, that will end up allowing commissions and some sort of a payment or monetary gain for you simply because you now subscribe to that product. And as a part of that subscription, you're getting some traffic and marketing through OnPassive. So again, it's not really an investment, but you are in essence paying OnPassive now to market that product for you, to sell it to others for you so that you can get commissions on people buying that because you now own it. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. Quite simple and down to earth. Thank you both. So, Andy, I'm sure you must have read the question. I left it here because I think we need to attend to it because there are a few words we need to take care of and everything. So, my customer base, do you want me to read it out?
Go on, read it out for everyone.
My customer base has no customers below them. So, they are worried they will get no commissions themselves. They don't want to deactivate, which affects me. What can I tell them? Andy.
Right, we know that the original early bird numbers were 1.4 million. Now the figures of those that have so far activated their account are considerably lower than that. I can certainly say that. We don't know the full extent of the customers that have actually been taken on so far. The guesstimate is that it's well over 3 million in total. But that means that we could get 2 or 3 customers a piece very shortly. And if that's the case, and one of those customers has paid for OConnect or come on board to use OConnect, then think of it this way. They will have got, if they've got the $50 discount, then they're paying $190, and your group that have activated their accounts has paid less than that $190, in which case they're going to get that. The first customer that buys it, they're going to get $190 back. So they're already in profit. Yeah. And that they can then use to not only activate OConnect again, and perhaps this time it might be on a monthly basis, but also we may find that we're going to be able to activate OTracker with that as well. So it's not, something that they need to concern themselves. If at the end of the day, and this is a big if, guys, because look, we're taking customers on daily, and these are not just individuals, these are corporate entities as well. And the likelihood is that an awful lot will have, sizable customers within their group. So the commissions are going to start to flow. Now, worst case scenario, and I mean this is worst case scenario, let's say for argument's sake that they've activated first time round and it's gone across to monthly and they still can't pay that monthly fee. The company, because they've activated their account first off, have been putting everybody on a rotator, and once those customers are allocated, they may well find that they get a few. And as I said, you only need the one that's paying for OConnect in order to get 100% of the first contribution that they make. So from that, they're going to be in profit, or should be in profit. So again, it's not something I would certainly worry about. But worst case scenario, if they got customers that weren't buying OConnect, the company is still going to be providing customers for them because they've activated their account first time round. That makes sense?
Yeah, sure, it does. And thank you so much. Actually, she's still insisting, but then I don't think that we have control of this. Well, my opinion though, this is the person who asked the question. He says, or they say, it would be good to understand exactly what the customer base is and how they will be distributed. Without that, my team is not interested in activating in case they lose their money. Well, I don't want to say anything.
Right. Okay. Right. They've obviously not used OConnect yet, because if they had used OConnect, they would realize that this product is far superior to what else is available on the marketplace. And there are going to be millions of people, and I mean millions of people, that will take on board what OnPassive has to offer as far as just OConnect is concerned. Okay, it becomes the platform for everything else that we have. Things like Academy, for instance. Academy will use our video conferencing platform to be able to teach others. So they're never going to lose their money. They're only going to make money if they activate their account. But I can't tell you when, because we don't know that. We can't answer that. My personal opinion is I'm going to, by hook or by crook, make sure that I've activated every single one of my accounts to make sure that I've purchased OConnect and put it into my shop. That goes then along with ONet and OMail and OTrim. And when OTracker comes out, by hook or by crook, I will find the money to pay for OTracker and get that in my shop as well, because the company continues to put us on a rotator. And numbers of customers, we've already heard from Mr. Mufara that at some point very shortly, OConnect is likely to go viral. Now, if that does go viral, the number of customers just increase tenfold. And therefore, you want to be in to make sure that you're going to get these customers that are going to use OConnect. Now, I'm not going to make any promises to you because I can't at the end of the day, but with a product that is far superior to anything else on the marketplace at a far lower price point, people would and companies would be I'm not going to use the word stupid, but insane not to be able to look at it, check it out, compare the two, and then go, do you know what? I'd rather have this one because it's a fraction of the cost of that one for the numbers that I'm getting. I'm going to use that, and therefore, if they're not listening to webinars and not going on webinars, then I'm sorry, but you have to try and steer them towards listening to what's going on and the information that's being passed around. Because if they learned that and they understood that, they would jump as far as we do now.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you, Andy. Jeffrey, there's a follow-up question again, or a worry from still the same person, which kind of coincides with the question I had, because the question for you, Jeffrey, was I don't need OConnect. How do I make commissions? And it seems like somebody, if Karen is really serious of the questions he or she is asking and the follow-up, he says, my team has tried OConnect, but they do not need it themselves. They use free products and they are that potential customers will be the same. We are working too hard we cannot give all the attention to one person. However, I will just read the question I have here. Excuse me, Karen, that's how I feel right now. So the next question is, I don't need OConnect. How do I make commissions, Jeffrey? If it makes sense to you.
Well, yeah, it does. And what I'd like to do, if it's all right, with a little grace, is to cover this entire bailiwick or this whole ball that Andy just did, and see if we can just really put some flesh on it a little bit. Now, there's 2 or 3 different points you want to look at. The number one is you've got people that don't want to subscribe because they don't know what's going to happen, and they're going to get stuck at the end of the month and paying for it again. Well, that is one way to guarantee that you're not going to have any kind of commissions if you don't subscribe to it, right? Mr. Muffar has said if you don't own it, you can't sell it. So if you don't subscribe to it, then OnPassive can't market it for you and put people or bring you customers for that. So if you don't subscribe, well, your odds of making any commission at all is 0. So get past that. Now, secondarily, when we do subscribe, the way that we're going to be earning and the amounts and the timing of that, which Andy went through, and he has done a good job with explaining a lot of these things. First and foremost, when we look at what the 1.4 million is, that's not 1.4 million founders. That's 1.4 million founder accounts that we've got. Now, that means that, because we know this because there's a lot of founders, charter members that have more than one account. Okay, so unique founders or unique charter members, we're not really sure. We're not privy to with that exact number. But as was rightly stated by Andy, we do know Mr. Muffar has indicated that we have about 3 million plus total members. So from that, we can presuppose that there are a certain number of founders in that, which are charter members and other members. But either way, that gives us a couple of million at least of members that are not founders that have already come in. So in answering the question of when are we going to see commissions or those sorts of things, customers coming in, we need to, again, as Andy had indicated, we've gone through some very serious challenges that turned out to be a little bit more of a blocker for us than we had first anticipated in the payment processing systems, in the financial system, which has 2 legs or 2 arms of it, okay? You've got the subscriptions and the finances coming into the company through subscriptions, and you've got commissions going out from the company to the charter member base and other members that are now subscribed to the product. So that's a big deal. between those two, not only are we taking that and sending out, but you've also got to keep in mind that we have to have a withdrawal process so that it can go from where it sits in our wallet to the real world banking and cross over to fiat money, okay, to paper money. So this system that they're working on making sure works for us to get the commissions to us is also going through, wow, more than 200 countries with more than 50 or 60 currencies with regulations up the wazoo, if I can put it that way. It is not a small feat. This is something huge, huge, huge. So we've got to get that done before these other things can be done, because if we don't have a stable financial system, which Mr. Mufara is currently working on, been working on it for 2 months, and he's expecting that to be done here in the next couple of weeks or this month, something like that, so that they can start paying out commissions. But that's got to be in, and it's got to be tested and stable before we can start piling on more products and things like that. So it's going to be a minute, but you're going to still see these things show up as subscriptions come in. You'll see the money, you'll see the financials jump into your wallet. Now, it'll be a week or two before you'll be able to pull those out. Now, having said all that, when the system is stable and when he's able to get this financial system working and right for us, at that point or sometime shortly after that point, he has indicated that they have this pool of members, again, that Andy had talked about, that have come in, a couple million of them, I think, if not maybe even a little more, that will then start to be allocated into the teams of those folks that have already submitted and subscribed to OConnect. So it's going to be, there's a process that's going on. There's a known dynamic to this whole flow, but it's not going to be tomorrow, and it probably won't be next week, but we're working that way, and that's how this whole thing kind of works together. So the real short answer to when am I going to start earning commissions has so many points that we have to mark. It's like, are you subscribed? Because if you're not, you won't earn commissions. Are you subscribed, and do you have people in your team already, or are you waiting for customers to come in to be put in for you? Again, it is not going to happen in the next 2 or 3 weeks, but it will be happening, I would assume, this quarter. So to be prepared to earn, make sure that you're subscribed, make sure that you check in, make sure you're checking the emails, your back office, making sure, that you're seeing what's going on and keeping up with the information that's being given, and just be patient. And I hope that helped, and without confusing people.
Yes, I hope so too, because I get it quite clear. Andy, were you saying something?
No, that's
all right.
Jeffrey was spot on.
All right, thank you, Jeffrey. Thanks so much. Yeah, so Andy, I just activated my account, and the 125 coins that were there disappeared. I don't know what happened. I found it somewhere, so let's discuss it, please.
Okay, so what you've had to do is you've had to add coins to your account. Originally, for those that activated their account straight away, it was 143. Bearing in mind, it was a 3-monthly payment, a quarterly payment, and it was $375. Right, 1 coin is equivalent to $1. We got 1 month free, which is 125 off. That meant 250 less the 97 that we got back, and the 10 for activating the account, 107. That meant that we had to find 143 coin, or add 143 coin to that account in order to activate OConnect. Now, along the way, we've been offered discounts. So if you had 125 coin and you've used it to activate your account, then it's not there anymore. It's been used as part payment to activate your account. If it's a commission that's come in, the figure doesn't make sense to me, so it wouldn't be a commission figure. So my suggestion would be that that's been used to activate the account, or part of, and therefore it's not going to be there anymore because it's been used.
All right.
I think of how else you would put it. It's a round figure, isn't it? 125.
Can I put a point of clarification in on that?
Yeah, of course you can.
Please.
If you're talking the 143, then this is obviously a dollar amount that was prior or pre the last discount that we got, the Christmas gift, if you will, or Mr. Mufara said, hey, you've got a gift in the back office. We just took another $50 off. So what you're looking at is from the 143 minus 50. So that 143, if you're thinking, where'd the 143? Mine was 93. That's why, because that 143 was from a month or so ago before Mr. Mufara gave us an additional $50 off. So to kind of recap what Andy just said, we started with $250, which came, well, that was the cost of the OConnect for 2 months at $125 a piece. He gave us a third month for free. He gave us $10 just for registering, which went into the wallet, and that knocked it down to $240. Then they gave us the $97 back. So now you've got 10 plus 97 is 107, subtracted from 250. That's where the 143 came from. A month later, or 2 months later, he gave us another 50. That knocked it down to $93. So anything that was in your OCoin account, anything that was in your wallet, whether it was the original account or original amount or the 143 or the 93, when you subscribe, you are essentially taking what's in there, in this case, the 143, and adding to it to pay. So you're going to end up with a zero balance. So that's where the money went. He's right. You used it.
I know. Thank you. Thank you guys for your patience. I know that every day Angie is saying he doesn't have patience, but he patiently does this. I appreciate you both. So someone says we were told that the delete button is visibly or is visible only in customer accounts. Why is it that I am seeing one in my profile when I activated my account for 143 OCoin as a founder affiliate? Andy, does that make sense?
Sort of. Okay, now I take it they're in their OES and not in the, yeah, okay. So they're in the OES and they've gone to my profile, they've gone down and it shows a delete account. But they've had to activate their account by paying 143 OCoin as a founder. That's a good question. Why?
Can I help you out a bit here?
Yeah, go for it, mate. Because I don't see the delete button. Why would the delete button be there?
There should be no delete button. If you've got an active OES, right? So that you're actually seeing the OFounders button up in the top left in your OES account, that delete button should not be there. The only reason you should be seeing a delete button is because you have entered through OnPassive.com as opposed to entering from an affiliate or an OFounder position. So what you've done is you come in as a member, not from a founder's position. If for some reason you know that not to be the case, which I believe is the case, and you're actually seeing a delete button up there, I would immediately send a support ticket and say, hey, what's going on with this delete button? Can you explain it to me? Because it should not be there. My guess is if you're seeing that delete button, if you go up into the top right and you have the drop down in your profile, the last one in that drop down menu is a delete. And when you delete that, it will delete that account. If you delete that account and you are a founder, you should still be able to go back into your OFounder account, tap the right-hand side top blue where it says migrate to OES or whatever that button says, and create an OES account through the OFounder position, and that resultant page will pre-populate with your founder information. So that's, but again, if you're actually in your OES, and you've got subscribed and everything, and you got to delete, man, I'd let support know real quick because that's a that shouldn't be.
All right, thank you. That's clear enough to me, and I hope that to everybody. If not, just drop a comment. Let's know, guys. Someone says, I have paid my OConnect for 143. Now we were told that we are not going to pay again from our pockets, but now I have been informed to pay $93 before 31st December 2023 from my pocket, of which I don't have money now.
Nope.
So don't qualify for traffic in 2024, regardless the first paid OConnect. Please advise me, please. Did that make sense, or do I need to read again?
If they've paid their 143, then they don't need to pay the 93.
Yes.
Yeah, they should have a zero account in their wallet,
Yeah.
and I don't know who's telling them.
And they get an extra month free.
Yes.
Until such times as the customers have been allocated, in which case at that point they may well find that there's money in the account because of the commissions that might be due. But no, they're not asked to pay 93. They've paid the 143.
Exactly. I did answer, but I thought that I don't know how many people think like that. So we should then bring it public for the benefit of everybody.
Comfort, you're looking at two different. There's a trend here in talking about these dollar amounts. You've got the 143, which is a pre-93 amount. It was 143 before they gave us another 50 off. So if somebody's saying, I already paid the 143, you're done. You should have zero account and you should be subscribed. Where the 93 comes in is a month later. So it's two different accounts. So somebody's giving you some bad dope. There's no other 93 to pay. And even more than that, Mr. Mufar has also given us an extra this month free because he knows it's taking longer than we expected. And yes, we do not want to see folks paying out of pocket. What Mr. Mufara would like to do, and he said before, he would like to see people get folks through the marketing and whatever, so that when we do go live and everything's working right, that we will not be paying out of pocket again, so that the first month going live, it will actually, your income will be sufficient to pay and to generate the monthly subscription and then some. And that's the idea. So yeah, but no, there's no more 93 for you to pay. Now, if the 93 is sitting in there, then obviously somebody hasn't subscribed. Just subscribe and it'll disappear.
Right. So there's one question here from Sister Rose in South Africa. Will the founders, fence sitters be allowed to subscribe other products to follow without first subscribing to our first paid product?
You want?
Go on, Jeffrey.
I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I find this kind of, why are you worried about other folks? I mean, that's my first thing. But I understand it. It's a valid concern. Now, when we say fence sitters, what we're talking about is people that saying, yeah, I see the 93 in my account. I see that they want me to subscribe, but I'm just not quite there yet. Okay, fine. You want to be a fence sitter, you're going to end up hurting yourself in the long run because you're not going to be allocated any customers when we start doing that. So that thing aside, yes, you will be able to, anytime you want to come in and subscribe to any product, you will be able to. Mr. Mufar is not going to try to stop you from doing that. Now, there is another thing that may result in this whole sphere of questioning about fence sitters and subscriptions and that sort of thing. And we don't really know yet because we don't know. Mr. Burj, Andy had said a little bit ago, hey, there's going to be some different pricing and different arrangements, different packages, things of that nature. We don't know right now whether or not when the packages all start coming out, which they will, whether or not if you buy one, you get to sell them all, or if you have to buy each one individually to be able to sell them. But the option has always been, or the idea has always been, if you subscribe, then you can also sell, or OnPassive will sell for you to build a customer base for you for any product that you're subscribing to. It's also been Mr. Mufar's intention that as products come out, if you do not subscribe, then as you bring in customers, which would probably be you doing it, because since you're not subscribing, you're not buying or you're not paying OnPassive to track it, traffic and market it for you. But as people come in and they fall into your customer base and they purchase products, commissions will show up in a wallet that you can see. And as soon as you do subscribe to that particular product that they have subscribed to, that commission will move from that wallet that you can't touch into your wallet, which you can touch, if that makes sense. Is that
the other way to look at it is, as Collins uses the analogy with the shop, which we've mentioned earlier. So the products that you put in your shop are the ones that the company can sell for you. Now, if you decide, right, okay, I'm not going to put in OConnect for argument's sake, but there's another paid product that comes out that you can afford to put in, let's call it OTracker, and you decide to put that into your shop by activating that account, great. You can sell OTracker, but you're not going to be able to sell OConnect yet, because you haven't activated OConnect. Now, one of the guys earlier on said, do I have to use it? I'm never going to use it. Why would I want to sell it? No, what you have to do is to put it into your online store. You know, one of our close friends here, Peter Rogers, owns a convenience store at the end of the day. He doesn't eat and drink and smoke everything that's in his shop, but he puts it in his shop for other people to buy. That's exactly the same here. You've got a system where we have an online store. Now, the beauty from our point of view is that we don't have to, you know, this one's sold, so I have to pay for it again to be able to put it back in my shop. No. It's sold, then it's sold again, then it's sold again, then it's sold again. At the end of the month, yes, I'm on that subscription, so I pay for that, but the commissions come in, cover that. So that's not a problem either. That's the beauty of the system. Now, again, personal opinion is that every single time we have a paid product, by hook or by crook, I will find a way to raise enough money to make sure that I can buy that product and put it in my shop, because I know long term that everything I put in my shop is going to be sold by the company. And the more products I put in my shop, the more the company is going to provide me with customers. So it's a win-win situation.
Oh, okay, so let me ask something here. I hope I don't.
Hey, before you go on, can I do a couple of points and touch on that? Number one,
right.
I'm sorry, I'm like, oh, I'm
no, I'll let you go. Maybe you cover what I want. Because when Sister Rose asked this question, what came to mind was, you know, originally we knew, which has not changed, that you were going to come out of pocket twice. First to register, and secondly to activate your account. And we think somehow we have it at the back of our minds that activating your account means buying OConnect first before any other one. So like Andy was explaining, and both of you, if I don't buy OConnect and then OTracker comes, can I skip OConnect and go ahead and buy OTracker? Maybe that's how I was looking at it too. So over to you, Jeffrey, please. Sorry.
Absolutely. And you're right. That question had my first element. When we talk about activating an account, we're simply saying subscribe to the product. Okay. Product subscription, activation is the same thing. Even though it sounds, well, activate the account. How do you do that? Just subscribe to a product. That's activating an account. Okay. The second thing is, when you subscribe, it's going to cost X amount of dollars. But that puts you in so that OnPassive will do marketing and bring in customers for you. And the first customer that purchased that product, you get 100% of your paid product back, your subscription price back from that first customer. So that puts you at zero. So it hasn't cost you a dime. So there's no reason why you wouldn't really want to do that. Now, there was another part to that question that they were talking about in the out of pocket portion of it, and you're absolutely right. Back in 2019, Mr. Mufareh started telling us and we knew there's going to be a one-time out of pocket for the products, and then after that, we're expecting to, once that kind of primes the pump, if you will, that the subsequent months and thereafter, those subscriptions would be paid in full by the incoming profits from people buying them. So you're right. We knew to start with that there was a founder fee, which had nothing to do with anything. That was a paid position that we got. But when it came to the products, there was a one-time out of pocket that we also knew about. And so he's not flipping saying, oh, now you got to pay twice or anything like that. He actually made it a lot easier for us. But there is expected on each of the products a one-time out of pocket for those products. And thereafter, that kind of primes the pump. If I hope that answered everything.
Okay, yeah, sure. It does to me because I get it clearly. So if people don't get it, they'll surely come back with questions. If Andy will let us answer questions again on this platform. So yeah. So I think we spent a good quantity of time. We thought that we had only a few questions and it was going to be about 30 minutes, but here we are, it's clocking to an hour. So I'll just give you one last round, really, really quick, just to make a closing remark, maybe a word of advice, encouragement, or anything. Andy and then Jeffrey, please. Would you like to unmute yourself, please?
That might be an idea. Closing remarks. Right. Let's make this as simple as possible. You are in a business. This is your business. And in order to be able to have a business, you need to buy stock. The beauty of it is that we have an online business. So you purchase a product that goes into your shop to be able to sell it. Now, if you've sold it once, you don't have to then pay to put it back in at the same time. Yes, you pay monthly, but the commissions coming in will cover that, as I mentioned earlier. So bottom line is we have a number of products, and these are going to be added to quite frequently as this year goes on. But we have OTrim, which is a URL trimmer. Everybody knows. We've got ONet, which is a social media platform, a correction to the corruption, free speech. And we have an OMail system, an email system that is far superior to what else is available. Now, our first paid product is OConnect. And in order to activate your business, you need to purchase that and put it into your online store. Now, we're going to very shortly see OVERIFY get released because we need to prove who we are for money laundering regulations. They're going to make that as simple as possible, so don't panic. And we're going to see OTracker come out and many, many more as the year goes on. But as we've said earlier, the only issue that we've had so far is the fact that we've had this payment problem with the merchants, and Jeffrey pointed this out. It's not just being able to take money in, it's being able to pay money out. Yeah, there's no point in the company to being able to take all of this money in if it can't pay out commissions. What's the point in that? Doesn't make sense. So they're sorting that and resolving that issue, and that's going to be dealt with and is being dealt with and will be resolved very shortly. In addition to that, we had a number of people that had purchased fraudulent accounts, and the companies had to clean those people out, get rid of them. They're not party to us. We don't want anything to do with them. Now that that is being done, now we can start to move forward. So everything is going to happen quite quickly as time moves on. So my advice would be activate your account as best you possibly can, by hook or by crook. Pay for that product, get it into your shop, and let the company go and do what it does best. Thanks, Comfort.
Thank you, Andy. Over to you, Jeffrey, please.
Wow, yes, I agree. And I'm going to start off in the same way that Andy did. It's a business. This is not a charity, okay? OnPassive is a conscious business, meaning that we take our responsibility very seriously to not only the members and the charter members and the people that work for us, but as well for the whole of humanity and the planet, all right? And even though we're going to see some very superior content and superior products, this is a conventional and even a contemporary outlet, avenue, a platform, if you will, for future success for all of us through the delivery, through this SaaS, right? This software as a service system of technology, sustainable technologies that we've got to meet every demand there is out there. We've already said, if you got an online presence or a business that you need to run, we got something for you. So that's the idea. Get in there. You're already in. If you're a member of OnPassive now, you're already in. Get the subscriptions going, because that's what's going to release. You know, Mr. Mufareh did a quote, and he was saying something about, you know, when you pay that subscription, the green light goes on, and that allows OnPassive to go to work for you. And that's exactly what we're looking for. And that's my recommendation, even as Mr. Burks has said, subscribe, get that subscription active, and then sit back. Don't sit back and wait now, because you're that close. Subscribe to the product and then sit back and let's wait for the magic. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thanks so much. So guys, there were a few questions we did not attend to, like Sister Elizabeth Bade from Papua New Guinea and Product Paradise. Those questions would be better for Sunday Heroes webinar, because we might need, I'm not sure if somebody will be happy to open their back office now for people to be looking into when it has now to do with figures out there. However, let me discuss with Andy and the rest of the team. If we think that we can take some questions, please do well to attend the Heroes webinar on Sundays, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So because there are certain questions that are better to be addressed out there. So your questions were not ignored. We only push them forward to what we think is the right quarters. So thank you once again for joining, guys. If these questions you found them important, share them widely. Subscribe if you have forgotten. Check out on Jeffrey's YouTube channel, Andy Burks. You'll find this on many YouTube channels. All of us sitting here, and the few that are not here. Subscribe, click on the bell, and please do us a favor. Just watch and ask a question under the video, under any channel you are watching. Even if it's a video by Jeffrey or with us here as a panel, drop the question under that channel. It's easier for us to get to lay hands on it. I do go, if I find a question even on Jeffrey's channel, I will bring it over here, or we take it over to Jeffrey, depending on what we agree on. We are always in it together. So thank you, guys. Have a wonderful evening and see you soon. Bye.